back after a week off, and I still love that new intro with the not so co-host down in the corner. I said that to her, and she's like, "I actually like the maybe sorta co-host." Or what wording did you use?
Not so wait, non-co-host. The
Non-co-host
who said it?
co-host.
Non-co-host co-host. One of it was it. One of your guys said it.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, I just wanted to get everybody on there because we have quite a few co-hosts now at this point.
Yeah, it's a community.
I was away for a week. I was recording with Bass and Brews. I'm gonna probably post that link once that episode hits. You guys are gonna want to listen to that one. If you don't listen to the Bass and Brews podcast, just listen to that one episode. It was almost 2 hours, but it was completely off the rails, and it was
I dig it.
Yep. I had to kill Bobby.
Was it like fuck, marry, kill?
Yep.
Okay. I was like the only.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't hear about that. So.
Yep. I actually talked to Bobby today. There he is.
Who's that handsome devil?
Right there.
Oh,
So we are officially live. We're gonna put Chris's nose right on the live stream right now. There he is.
There he is.
There we go. Hey.
There's Abay himself. I'm not gonna lie, dude. That Abay Bay song just fits your brand name so well. I have to use it every time I market you.
Oh, I love it. It's funny.
It's perfect.
Every single time I try to advertise you, I gotta use that at some point.
Yeah. Well, sorry I'm late. We were trying to load up these kayaks there, and it was tricky getting both of them in there. We had to turn one sideways, and it's got a Tanya cover, so we had to take that off. And so I apologize for being late.
No, you're fine. So
it's all good.
We'll even talk about that. So you're late because you're packing kayaks for a little trip down to Massachusetts.
Yes.
Now, you said you're getting some rigging done. Is that what specifically are you having done on that?
So we're putting new sonar and stuff, fish finders, and
nice.
So we're doing my old town, and we're doing my daughter's boyfriend's native.
Nice.
He just got a native Slayer.
If I didn't need the bigger boat, the Slayer would be the way I would go. I do like the way the Slayer is very comparable to the Old Town as far as the shape and size of it.
Yeah, it's super light.
Yep.
If you have to, if you got a car top something, that's your choice of boat right there.
I have dropped my Old Town off my car more times in the last month than I ever have any other kayak, because it catches the roof rack. If it catches one of the ridges wrong, it just goes. Yep. And I literally broke my side mirror off of my car, my passenger side mirror, and for a week and a half I didn't have a passenger side mirror. And that was like a $30 fix, but...
You think that Old Town's heavy, you should try picking up on that native type. That thing is fucking unwieldy. I'm so glad I didn't get the 12. By the way, guys, for those of you who are watching this right now, anyone who wants to see what that looks like, I recommend checking out my channel on the 9th, because there may or may not be a video coming out. The ironic part is, you're getting yours rigged this weekend. Dude, that video that's coming out on the 9th has already changed. There's already about 5 things on that kayak that are not where they were in that video.
And it's not how it goes.
Did you get that when you were down in Marlboro?
Yep. I got it from Contac or Conta. I don't know how to pronounce the New Hampshire one, the New Hampshire dealer there.
Yeah.
I had to. First of all, it was the color. It was the color I wanted. And they had it for a stupid sale. It was like $2,800 instead of $33. So I pretty much went there with the intention of buying a kayak.
Yeah, I was under the impression you were getting a kayak no matter what.
Yeah, I was pretty sure you were going home with one.
I almost went home with one the year before when I came down to hang out with you, so... But...
If there were more dealers near me, I would have a serious problem.
We have none.
Yeah, we don't either. The closest one for us is out at the Finger Lakes, out by Cayuga Lake.
Yep.
Wow. Really?
Closest
Yeah,
to
I
me
mean
is
it's
that
not
New
bad.
Hampshire one.
It's like a 2-hour ride, but you
Yeah.
don't want to go to a 2-hour drive just to look at boats. You're not even sure if you're going to get one or not.
Right.
I drove 45 minutes to a place, and the website, everything said that it was open. And when I got there, there was nobody there. Lights were all on. We called, nobody answered. We knocked on the door, nobody answered. It was like a regular business day at like 12 o'clock.
We
Not
gotta
even.
get
I think it.
we gotta get you and him together
Hello.
at some point.
Man,
Chris and Pete Stoneman do a little
I'm
figure
back.
out a little collab or something. Those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's not that the kayak is heavy. It's just when it catches the wrong
awkward.
way, it's awkward and it's damn near impossible to recorrect any movement once it starts going one way. It's gone. I dropped it in front of these freaking teenage boys when I was getting off the ramp,
Yep.
like straight off my car, and I was like, God, fucking damn it! Like it's got so many scratches on it, and my car's got dents on it, and I'm like, Jesus. I need a truck, but I don't have the money for a truck right now.
The thing about the Old Town is the way the weight is distributed. I can't see the word. Distributed. It's like front heavy. The nose of it's way heavier than the rear.
Yeah.
So like when you try to take it off the trailer or the roof or wherever, it's like you can't. Where the handles are is strategically good, but when you try to pick it by the side handles, it's like it wants to tip towards the front.
And I can't, you can't get to the middle handle. Like, if it goes off balance on the top of the car, I can't get to the handle fast enough to stop it from falling, or to the front of it if I'm in the middle.
I can't imagine you trying to pick it up, too, because I can barely use both side handles. And my wingspan's a lot bigger than yours, so...
I take the kayak... I'm going to do a video on this, but I take the kayak and I walk it parallel to the car. Then I get to the front of it and I walk it all the way up to where I'm standing holding it vertical in the middle where the pedal drive is. And I put that in the middle of the car and then I put it on the roof and then I spin it so that it's facing forward and then I strap it down.
Yeah.
But it's the spinning part. I can get it up. It's the spinning part. If it catches on the way my roof rack is, just a couple little lips on there, it just goes and I can't stop it. And I look like a freaking idiot. And I hate it. My expensive kayak is getting scratched and thrown around.
I'm lucky I got an 8-foot bed in my truck, so I just throw it in there, bungee cord it, and haul ass.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I tell you what, dude, in that 5'7" bed of my Ford, that 10.5 kayak looks stupid. It was like hanging out the back, like it's like
it looks stupid in a Tacoma with a short bed. It just looks ridiculous. And I don't have I don't have a truck anymore.
So
you think it looks ridiculous on the bus? That's the easiest way to load it by a crank.
Real quick, this Michael Bradley said, "Where is Abay from?" So, real quick, that's Alexandria Bay, New York, up on the St. Lawrence River.
You may or may not be seeing some Vinny Outdoors content from that very area this summer. Hint, hint.
Clearly, you will be.
Well, actually, I've been saying that for about 2 years now between me and Chris, but it seems like every year, last year with the dog situation, I couldn't make the trip, but this year I'm trying to. And you guys are kind of like, you guys have that, like, closed waters deal, too, right? Like, there's a lot of times you can't fish, right?
Trout. You can't fish right now in 90% of lakes.
Chris, I don't think you guys can target pretty much anything, can you guys? Or not yet?
No, not till May 1st, pike and walleye open. And then June 15th, bass starts.
Yeah, and they're like closed.
You have to wait.
Like, if you're targeting bass, you are fined and in big shit.
You have to wait that long?
Yeah, yep. Well,
crap.
There's other local lakes around here that go before that, but here on the river, it's June 15th.
My brain. So I wait till April 8th, and I think that's a lot. You're waiting till June.
They go a little bit later because they give the chance to smallmouth, because the smallmouth go, like the largemouth will go towards the end of May, but the smallmouth won't start getting up on beds till like the first week of June.
Yep.
Not that I want to encourage it, but a lake that doesn't allow fishing during the spawn produces some of the biggest fish in the country. You mean fish that aren't getting beat up and put in live wells and then dragged across the lake for a weigh-in so that all their eggs get eaten by bluegills suddenly have big spawns and big quality?
Yeah.
Huh, who would have thought?
Yeah, when I have my my property and my pond, it gets cut off as soon as the spawn starts. You're not allowed to fucking fish it.
See, we don't have. They actually, I learned they changed Vermont's laws on all of that this year.
Really?
So I actually was talking to Fish and Game about this because there's a couple of lakes, like the one where the tubes is, Dunmore. That area that we were fishing is a closed trout, or used to be a closed trout water, but they did it weird where it was like literally north of a specific island you couldn't fish, but south you could. It was a weird thing, and it was because the south end is only like 8 feet deep, maybe 10 max, so the trout won't go there.
I was just gonna say,
they don't close waters for bass anywhere in Vermont, but what they'll do is they'll close a trout lake, and they won't let you fish it at all because you could easily just say, "Oh, I'm not targeting bass. I'm just fishing for trout with quarter ounce swim jigs because that's what trout eat." But so they just decided to just wholesale block it. But what was happening was, the idea was to help the trout spawn and do all that, but what they found is that just no one fished at all.
Huh.
So apparently they changed all the restricted lakes and crap. I found that out because I called because I wanted to go fish Dunmore because it was one of the first places to ice out.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll go fish there. And apparently all the rules on that were completely redone, and they didn't tell anybody. They just posted it on page 15 of the
with that
book, but no one ever looks at because no one buys a license at a store anymore because we can get them online, so no one gets the book, so no one.
My dad gets so mad. He loves the hunting book. When he gets his license, he wants the book for PA, and they don't do that anymore. And he's like, "What the fuck?" I don't know, Dad. Sorry.
Because I haven't bought a license at an actual store. I don't even know anywhere that sells them anymore. Walmart is pretty much it.
Walmart, and there's nobody there who ever knows how to do it. And if they are, they've got a line of people and the machine's out of labels.
Yeah,
we don't even have labels here. We don't even do that.
Damn.
Literally, when you buy a license in Vermont, they're just going on the Fish and Game website that you could go on.
Yep.
And just printing you out the same thing. And there's they print it on freaking paper. They just give you an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with a logo printed on it.
See, up here, if you go and get them, they'll print them out, and they go through a laminator for you.
Yep.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. I used to keep mine in my wallet.
Yep, the little square ones they do for you. Yep. They laminate them for you and everything.
It's funny because I was endorsed in New York throughout my life more than I was endorsed in Vermont. Because I used to go to Ontario every year and do the king salmon fishing thing.
Right.
And I would have and that's the other thing I really wish, and this is going to be a conversation that we don't necessarily need to go down a rabbit hole on, but somebody from Fish and Game in New England, stop fucking ending the licenses on December 31st. Do a 365 like New York and stop being stupid about it. I'm sick of it.
That's actually my new.
All these other states, some states ended on the day you bought it. Some states ended on November 1st. Some do on December 31st. Just do a 365 like New York does. Why is that hard?
Yeah, they just start doing that recently because in the past they did it seasonal, every 6 months. So there's a lot of people up here that just ice fish.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, up here, ice fishermen get screwed because if you get ice in December, they got to buy 2 licenses.
Yeah.
They'll buy a license and 30 days later, their license isn't valid anymore, and they got to buy another one in January. That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's stupid.
I saw your guys' ice fishing videos this winter. I watched those. It looks like you had fun.
Yeah, we did.
If you saw the off-camera content, you'd probably think differently, but I wasn't so sure Janelle was going to be my friend after a couple of the outings.
But. Yeah, well, you won't catch me out there.
It was just there was 3 days where it was basically blanks, and we're getting up at the crack of dawn, and we're fishing hard in those elements. And at a certain point, I really just wanted to rip Mike's head off, and it had nothing to do with Mike. It was just like it was just too much, and yeah. But we're good. We're good now.
I think a lot of it was for a lot of people that don't realize, if you watch the video, especially the way I edited mine. Janelle hasn't really got all her stuff out yet, but like I edited it really well, so it looks like we've known each other for 20 years and like we're good friends. Am I wrong? Like, it looks like that in the video. But what you guys don't know is that was literally the second time we'd ever hung out in person, and the first time we'd hung out in person, like, without other people around.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had Bobby kind of playing buffer and Dad in between, and Nick was there to be the comic relief, so...
Yeah. Yeah, well, you get to know somebody relatively quick when you're in a freaking ice shanty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Or pulling their bus out of a ditch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That first day was crazy.
We used to live on this place called Millsite Lake in Redwood, New York. And the pike in there, because there's lake trout and there's landlocked salmon in there.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
The pike in there get ginormous. Like the first year I was there, I watched a guy catch a 35-pound pike out of there. Just massive.
Yeah.
But the guys that would come off of that lake couldn't even walk back to they would bring their four-wheelers down, and they would take the shanty out on the ice on their four-wheeler, and that's where it would stay for the winter.
Yeah.
But dude, you know how many people I watched trying to get on their four-wheeler and they were so shit-faced they just fell off of it? And then they get on and fucking hammer through the village.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So when I was a kid, that was not, like, there was, matter of fact, right where me and Janelle were doing a lot of that ice fishing content, that was like a shanty town. Like, it was 15, 20 different wooden shanties. Just, you dragged them out in the beginning of the winter and you pulled them off before it melted. And they were just there. And a lot of us didn't even, like, some of us locked them, but that's because we just didn't want to haul our gear out, so we would keep our gear in it. But, like, you had the combination to, like, 4 or 5 of the guys. Like, guys would be like, yeah, here's the combo to my lock, and, like, you would just go fish people's... Like, if you needed to grab gear, you would just go grab it out of somebody's shanty, or somebody would go fish.
Back in the early 2000s up here, when you would drive by the river, some of these bays would look like small towns. There were so many shanties out there. And they would take grills and, but you don't see that too much anymore. There's one or... Because we just don't get the ice like we used to.
No. This year was the first year we were able to kind of, like, pick your spot. Like, in the last 3 years, it has been basically 2 lakes or 3 lakes that you really could just go and not worry about conditions. This year, I mean, there was 16 inches of ice on Carmine that time we went. I mean, it was a lot. That's why it was such a big deal in that first video, because I wasn't going to hand auger. I had a hand auger, but I wasn't about to hand auger 16 inches of ice times 20 holes. It wasn't going to happen. Like, I was just like, nah. So
yeah, I don't know. None of it sounds the least bit appealing to me at all.
You know,
I don't want to freeze my ass off. And
I love it.
The funniest
I don't get to do it, so I love it. Like,
I don't even like it that much.
He doesn't. I made him.
That's the irony of it. Is here's the thing. I can't say I don't like. I do enjoy it because I enjoy fishing and I enjoy the art of fishing. But the amount of effort it takes to drag all that shit on the water, to set it up, to drag it all home, if you don't catch fish, it is literally the recipe for, like, divorce and end of friendship, and like it is just because it's basically you're working out to get out there, and then you set everything up, so it takes you like 2 hours to start fishing. And then you start fishing, and then you fish all day, it's cold, you're exhausted, and then if you don't get fish, then you realize you got to pack all that shit up and drag it back home, and it's just like... But I love making content, and I actually really kind of got into it. So it's not going to be a good ice year next year because I now have all the equipment.
Yeah, see, I don't... I just don't want to bundle up and look like the kid from the Christmas Story going out there, like,
Yeah.
the
Why?
freaking. Why? Because I'm almost 50 and it doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I'm
do it because
and it
my
sounds
luck, I'm going to get all those layers on, and as soon as I hit that cold weather, I'm going to have to turn around because I'm going to have to pee.
Yep.
Yeah, just go in the shanty and tell Mike not to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. That's again stuff you don't see on cameras. Mike, get out, and then yep.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta go now. I've been thinking about it for 15 minutes. I gotta like,
So,
Yeah.
those were the days where it was the hardest. Was getting up early, lugging all of that crap, filming it, and just like all of it that came with it. Those 3 days were really rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, anyways, you guys made it look fun. It looks like you were having fun.
It was
oh, it was
funny
fun.
because the whole thing is the entire time I'm like, meh. It was like good days were fun. Like it was worth it. The good days made you want to go back out again. And then like but Janelle, I was positive that after the couple of blanks in a row that Janelle was going to be like, I'm going home. I'm done. But then she's like, okay, so next year when I come back, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is good. We've already started making plans for the next, summertime trip. But,
Yeah. Yeah. I like
When
that. I like that bus you converted. That's pretty neat.
I'm in it right now. That is where I'm at right now. So yeah, she's a beauty. I gave a tour last night to a couple of my coworkers, which was funny because they were like, "You're what?" I'm like, "My bus." They're like, "I'm like, I've talked about it. How do you people not know? Like, you should know. I've been here plenty of times." So I gave
Yeah.
a tour and I got all excited. I spent the night. So I worked yesterday and then today. So I just stayed up here and Walmart camped and I slept in this morning. I washed my hair in the sink. Like I had like my little shower and did all my dishes. So it's a good time.
Very well.
When you go down to Mass, are you there for how long are you down there for?
What's that?
How long are you down in Massachusetts for?
We're leaving tomorrow, and I'm coming back Sunday night. So it's just
it's
a
a quick turnaround.
Yeah, we're rigging boats. We're gonna hit one place Saturday, and then Sunday on our way out, we're gonna go up in the Brookshires and hit a place up there,
Yep.
and we'll just load up right from the launch and head home.
For those of you who follow, he's going down there, and Sean the fisherman, a name you guys might know, is going to be one of the ones that's going to be helping him rig that stuff up. So it's Nelson and Sean, right? That's who you're going to.
Yeah. It'll be good to see those guys. I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, it'll be good. And then Mason, the guy that's going with me, this will be his first trip there in the kayak.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he enjoys that. Because I tried telling him, I'm like, once you get out there and you get situated, that's all you're going to want to do.
It's addictive.
Yep.
It really is.
It is.
I took my friend out for the first time on Sunday. She lives in her fifth wheel, and she loves paddleboarding. But I was like, I'm about to crack a code in your brain. And she caught like a nice 2-pounder to end the day. Caught a bunch of pickerel and smaller bass, but like just seeing her out there, she's like, "This is fun." I was like, "I know."
The thing
I know
is,
it
I
is.
actually thought about getting a paddleboard at one time because if you got one of those like inflatable, like fairly light packable ones, there's a lot of places you could hike into that I bet would have sneaky good fishing because no one fishes it because it's so ungodly painful to get to. But if you had one of those like inflatable paddle boards that you could just bring like an air mattress pump or something to pump it up when you get out there, you could just throw it all in a backpack with a couple of rods, and I have a feeling you like the Adirondacks there's a lot of places like that where there's a trail but there's not really any way to get you're not going to drag an Old Town up there. It's like a mile in.
I found a place in the river that's really neat. So it's over by the Canadian side, and you can't fish it in a big boat because it's hard to explain. So there's almost like a 360-degree shoal around it.
Okay.
And it's literally like 6 inches deep. Like I had to get out of my kayak, put my rudder up, put my pedal drive up, and pull my boat across it. And then it opens up into like this deeper bay that's probably anywhere from 8 to 12 feet. And it's like a big bowl.
Yep.
And I tell you what, the fishing in there was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't know if it like corrals bait fish in there, but it was, yeah, I spent the whole day there just in that little cove. And I tell you what, yeah, the places that are hard to get definitely pay off.
It's crazy because that's what makes it fun though, is like it's not even just the places that are like that you have to like really work to get to, but even like in a lake, right? You can get up in that like 6 inches a foot of slop. Like you can go sit in the middle of a pad field and cast out to stuff. You can actually run punching and Texas rigs and big jigs and go fish in that shit that you're not going to even get close to with a boat because your trolling motors is going to be wrapped up with pads and you can't even get in there. With a kayak, now I will say with the Old Town, you're definitely pulling your drive and paddling through that shit because you're going to be aggravated trying to pedal through it, but still you can get in there.
Oh yeah, but I mean, especially if you like frog fishing, get those real tight backwaters and stuff. Yeah, I'll do that shit all day, every day.
There's nothing like catching a fish on a frog, and that ruins a lot of other baits. Like that badoosh, like, and you hear that splash. And the thing is that's what a lot of people don't realize is the big splash isn't really the most exciting thing. It's when you hear the weird, and I don't know how to describe it. And if you've ever caught a fish, and Chris is smiling because he knows exactly what I'm saying. There's like a bloop. Like there's just a sound when they because the big ones don't jump, they just come underneath and just suck it down.
Yeah, they inhale it. Yeah,
and it makes this sound, and it just that sound is like heaven on earth when you hear it because you know if you do get the hook in that fish, it's going to be a big one. It's just only the big ones seem to do that.
Yep.
They're subtle.
Yeah, that's probably my absolute favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'll throw a spook in 22 feet of water for smallies.
Yeah,
they'll come up and wreck it.
They'll do it, dude. A matter of fact, that's the spook I got from you is the one that I've like really learned how to fish, and yeah, I fish that in a lot of like not shallow water. Like I'm fishing it in fairly open water.
Yeah.
As long as you, especially the ones with rattles in them that like make a little bit of noise, man, they will come from a long ways to go track that thing.
Yeah. I found out like up here on a windy day, and now I know it doesn't make sense because a lot of people always fish top water when it's calm, overcast conditions.
Right.
But up here on a windy day, you get out on one of those Rocky Point shoals and you throw a topwater bait in 12 to 16 feet of water. Because the way the wind's crashing up against that rock, the bait fish are getting pushed. Yep. And then you come across there in the top water, those smallies just go nuts for it.
Yep. It's weird how you have lakes like that, because I have like my home lake. Fish is better when it's raining. It's one of those lakes that it fishes good most of the time, but if it's raining and just it can't be like hurricane gale force wind style, but like a 15-mile-an-hour like gusty wind with a rain, and it's lights out. You will catch more fish on that day than you on any other condition.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things, and I think a lot of it is where I fish that bay I fish, which me and Janelle actually ice fished.
When we went up to Lake George and Lake Champlain, that was in October, and I was throwing a frog in October. And I caught like 9 off of a frog in October.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The fall up here is like, there's a couple of lakes I fish now that there's one just really big pad flat. And it's crazy because the backside of it is like 6 inches, 4 inches of water. But the front side where the pads end drops off to 10 feet. Yeah, so it's like 2, 3 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet, 10, and then 20. Like it's just a straight cliff. So it is just the fish get up in there and then they go out deeper when they want to, and you can sit there all day. You're not going to be pulling 5-pounders out of there all day, but you'll pull 14 inchers out of there on a frog every third cast. It's like, and every cast they'll miss it, but they'll blow up on every single time. It's nuts.
Yeah.
The fall is when to do it. It's crazy in there. As a matter of fact, that's where, if you guys saw the video where my buddy Bear broke his drive, it was that lake.
I I've hit a few logs on my last couple of trips that I've been like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Scary. It's scary, but that's where the fish were. So
it's crazy when you hit with that drive specifically.
Yeah.
It's like boom. Like you hit that drive on something and it stops you. That PDL drive for the Old Town is rock solid. That thing is like it stops your trajectory and starts you going backwards when you run into something. And it sounds awful. Like it terrifyingly sounds.
Yeah, I see that. Who's that there? Scott. Yeah, he put on there. I like the new Old Town Pros. Yeah, dude, those are gorgeous boats. Oh my gosh.
If they could have not had such a high price tag on that, that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Is that thing is
That's like
price
4,200, something like that. Well, that's because it's it depends. If you get it with the EPDL, then yeah. But
the thing is it's more than a native Titan.
Yeah.
Without the EPDL.
Yeah.
It's 3,800 for just the regular pedal, and I'm like, now don't get me wrong, I had been saying for years, if they would just make a wider kayak with that same drive, they would have something, because that kayak is stupid stable. I know people who are worried about fishing in a kayak, but once they sit in one of those Old Towns, they're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, those things are wicked.
If you look at the specs on it, you're only getting an extra 6 inches in the cockpit. When they shorten those gunnels from the gunnel, but just that 6 inches makes a huge difference, I guess.
Huge,
you know?
Dude. It's night and day. My native is the same kind of width in the cockpit area, and it's amazing how much difference that makes. Like, apparently you don't feel cramped up.
Apparently, I have the brain of a 12-year-old boy, because every time you I've had a long day. I just had to help customers for like 4 hours, and now my brain is like podcast mode.
I had to drive to go buy a phone and then go to work after, because my wife ran it over.
Yeah, life is fun. I saw a guy on the water that had, I guess it's the saltwater version of the PDL 120, because it was like white and black instead of like teal or orange. I like the white. Like, I would buy that in like a 10-foot version, because that's my size, but like, I liked it. I'm surprised they don't have a red. Like, why don't they have different colors? It makes me angry.
Well, they have that limited edition. I think it was the Ghost, like the white and gray.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy has that. Chrissy Fishing has that one.
Yeah.
So what Old Town does, and that's where they screwed up a little bit. So they came out with that hull. So that was a modification from, I believe, the old Predator hull. And then they renamed it and rebranded it about 40 times. And the only thing they changed was where the handles were located, and they would come out with a different color every year. They never really changed the kayak itself. It was the same exact hull, the same exact seat, the same drive. They would just come out with like a limited edition color every year.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but like, they needed to get something, in my mind, earlier, because that's why you started seeing some of these other bigger companies getting traction. But at the same time, the 10-foot and the 12-foot Old Town, I see them everywhere. And I have put mine, if you want a durable kayak, I have beat the shit out of mine. And I still own it. So I've been talking about my new kayak. I didn't buy a new kayak because I wanted to get rid of my Old Town. I still have it. Still keeping it. It's going to be a buddy boat. The wife's going to take it out. It's still functioning perfectly fine. It's literally just because I wanted something bigger for tournaments. But that thing, if I can get 5 or 6 years out of that, anybody else can get 10 or 15.
Yeah, I pretty much got mine just because the reliability from the drive.
Yeah.
I mean, read so many things because I was so stuck on which boat to get.
Yep.
Because I was in either the Jackson Nar, the Old Town, or the Native Titan, or the three that I was. And I kept going back to the Old Town just because of the pedal drive.
Yep. There's Mason right there.
Yeah,
The Slayers are good boats. Don't get me wrong. Now, I will say what I did learn about the natives the hard way is you do have to do some maintenance. Apparently, the drives are not maintenance free like the Old Town, so you actually have to take them apart and grease them. And the kayak company that put mine together did not put the freaking crank arms on all the way.
Yeah.
I got out on a lake in the middle of the fucking lake, started pedaling, and I'm like, man, this drive is like wobbling. This is weird. What the hell is going on? I was like, because it felt like I could feel a hitch every once in a while. I was like, maybe I didn't, because they warned me that I needed to line up the middle point of the drive so that it sits right so it doesn't rock inside the thing or whatever. I'm like, well, maybe I didn't line it up right. No, the fucking control arm wasn't torqued down to spec. So the actual arm was coming off of the fucking pedal drive while I was fishing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with my finger in the hole pedaling it to tighten it because I don't have any tools. And then once I got it tight, I would take my pliers and go in there and turn it. But all I got is needle nose. It don't really have the flex. So I'm like literally hand tightening this thing. I didn't have a freaking Allen wrench because it's a big Allen wrench to put that on there with. And I ended up having to like basically call it early. And then the next time I went out, I had a similar problem, and I didn't bring the freaking Allen wrench with me because I thought I put it in my kayak. So, needless to say, it is now on there. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get it off again. I used a little bit of aggression on my torque rating. Pretty sure it's torqued down to spec and maybe a little over, but
yeah, that's a good time.
But apparently you have to actually take those apart every like 80 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would have broken it immediately because I'm not that girl.
Yeah, and you got to get spanner wrenches and everything else. The
man he's going down to see in Massachusetts, I had about a half an hour phone conversation with on the way home. I was like, dude, I know you know this because you know you have a ton of natives. I'm like, what do I need? Because the thing is I don't have the closest native dealer to me is 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah, he's good with that. He had an issue with on the river. We went back. We were in the parking lot of the motel, and he had that thing ripped apart in about 5 minutes. And
with that spanning wrench, it looks like 20 minutes max. It's really just about getting it apart and then getting it clean, basically cleaning all of the like old grease out and getting it back together. Yeah. It's not going to take very long. I'm actually building like a little repair kit because the one mistake I made with the Old Town was, and I highly recommend Janelle does this too, is you can buy the prop repair kit, just stuff in your kayak, because if you break a prop and you're in the middle of a lake, paddling, I will say, of all the compliments I've given to Old Town, paddling that kayak is a bitch.
Yes.
It is not a paddle kayak. It is a pedal drive. It is smooth as hell, and you can cover a lot of water really fast with that pedal drive. When you paddle it, you are ready to murder someone after about 40 yards. It is not. And if you're in a bad situation or a storm or bad weather, you're screwed trying to paddle that thing.
The nice thing about up here is I've never really had to use. The only thing I needed my paddle for is to push out like a foot to drop my pedal drive. That was it.
It's literally just a launch. Just push yourself, put it on the side of the boat, forget about it.
I'm actually thinking about storing my paddles in a different way because the way I built my kayak out, I can't use like the little holder that they give you to put it on either side of your crate. So I only end up using one paddle. So I'm thinking about like, I'm debating on just buying like a telescopic like regular just oar.
Yeah. A regular one?
A regular oar.
Regular oar?
So that way I can just use that because like you said, the only thing I'm ever using it for is to get me to the bank and get me off of the bank far enough to be able to pedal.
A push pole, push pole or
Yeah.
one of those telescopic ones. I mean, the telescopic one you just gotta be careful because like it's not made to like to put weight on it. So if you go to push, it might just right back down into itself. But yeah, that's all I used my pedal for. Thank God I had it when my pedal drive steering broke. I had a spanner wrench, a native drive.
So maybe I'll have an excuse to come fish with you, Michael Bradley, and then I can come home with a spanning wrench.
I didn't learn what a spanning wrench was until probably 5 months ago. But hey, I'm here now.
But yeah, the kit for the Old Towns, like, because Scott Vermonter was saying that, like, so they make a kit what has the floating, like the nut that goes on the end of it actually floats. So if you actually dropped it in the water, you could just go get it again. Because that's actually one thing that could be a problem is the stock one is just a regular stainless like lock nut. And if you drop that out of the end of the kayak, it's going through that hole on the bottom of your kayak to the bottom of the lake. Whereas the floating one will just sit there and you can kind of pull it up out. But literally to change that is like one nut, take it off, pop the new blade on, and go. You could do it on the water. It's really easy to swap that prop.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out there.
Dude, you're gonna be you're fishing. Bobby's been getting on a few. So I mean, they got a lot warmer temperatures than we do here.
Dude,
we were at 44.
Sean's killing me, dude. The last 2 weeks, he's been sending me pictures of freaking tanks.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, like he's sending me pictures of 5.5 pounders, 6 pounders, and I'm sitting here looking out the window watching it snow.
8.2.
So Nelson's in
My
a
buddy
tournament.
sent me an 8.2, and I was like, what the fuck? Why was I not invited out on that trip? He caught a 6.11 in front of me and an 8.2, and I didn't. I still, the 6.11, I don't have words because I've never seen a fish that big before.
Yeah.
Once they hit 6, there's something about bass once they hit 6.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. A 5-pounder is a beautiful fish. Don't
Gorgeous.
discount that at all.
Basically
but
my personal
once
best.
they get to 6, they start to look like there's something wrong with them. Like they're not the same shape as you would expect them to be.
I like when you're fighting them and you get them by the boat and you can see those big bulbous googly eyes, the big white, and you're like, oh, it's a freaking slob. It's gonna be a slob.
I love how when Nikki jumps in here, she actually has really enjoyed her Mrs. Binya nickname.
Aww. Hi, Mrs. Binya.
I think she jumps in here just so that they'll call her Mrs. Binya.
I jump in here so they'll call me the non-co-host co-host.
That's true. Yeah.
Just gotta keep my rep.
Yeah.
What is your PB, Chris? Actually, large
mine
or smallmouth, either way.
8 3/4.
Fuck you.
I'm only we'll say 7 1/4. I go with 7 1/4 because I was using a fucking shitty spring scale. I didn't have a digital one with me, and it was over the 7. But I can't. It could have been 7.5, and it could have been 7 in like a tick, but I can't tell with a freaking spring scale.
Yeah, mine was in about 33 feet of water, and I was actually jigging for walleye.
Jesus.
You know what's funny is that's how I catch. It's the opposite for me. That's how I catch walleye. If I'm targeting smallmouth in my walleye lake, I'll catch walleye.
Yeah.
I'll never catch them targeting.
I've only ever caught one on a lipless rattle trap. Fishing for bass. Oh, well, I was fishing in like a 8-foot weeded stretch, and it was windy and rocky. I was just throwing the lipless out there, and it was like a pearl with like a green, like an olive green backing, and it was like a 7-pounder or something came up and sucked it in mouth. We ate that fish. It was delicious.
This is the kind of wife I have right here. It was miscalibrated. It was only 5. Yeah, miscalibrated spring scale. Yeah. The thing is, I've kind of stopped grading PBs by weight. I've kind of gone by length.
Shut up. I don't know the length because blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
I still keep a scale in the boat. I do it both because I've been fishing big boat for so long. I'm always curious to see what I end up at the end of the day, what my bag would be, you know, my best spot.
Yep.
I can't get out of that. So
I don't ever want to get out of that.
You know
Unless
why
I weigh like 10 pounds, then I'll be like, all right, whatever.
The reason I don't keep the scale is, I'll tell you right now, it's a really stupid reason. It's because I always end up getting it fucking wet and ruining it.
Yeah.
It's a scale.
They don't get most cheaper scales, unless you're buying an expensive one. They get water in them. It gets underneath that screen. It starts to boil out the LCD, and they fuck up.
Never had that problem.
No,
everyone I've had has done that.
You're an idiot.
I've had Berkeley ones. I've had Guggen ones. I've had them all.
I've had my Rapala scale. Yeah, I dropped that right in the water, and
no problem.
So to be clear, too, I don't take my shit out of my kayak. My shit stays in my kayak all year.
Blah, blah, blah.
So that might be why, too. It's in the elements after I'm done fishing, too. I'm not bringing it inside after.
My dad, I did get my dad the Berkeley one that was like the grip with the screen. You can put your 5 in there. That one broke after a year, but my other Rapala one has been fine.
You can't beat those Bubba scales, though.
If I get another one, it's going to be one.
I don't have the kind of money for that, guys.
Yeah,
I have that one. Oh Lord, can it? It's a terrible angle, but that one. Anyway, regardless, sorry.
Those Bubba ones are nice.
Yeah.
They are. My buddy pulled it out when he weighed the 6'11", and I was like, "You're the Bubba scale." I mean, he did have like 3 live scopes on his boat, so it made sense that he had.
That's what a lot of the elites use, is the Bubbas.
Yeah.
Those guys use those.
Mm-hmm. Good for them. But yeah, I prefer knowing the weight and then the length. But it is what it is.
Well, I don't know. I just like to know. I always will weigh them for whatever reason. But.
Well, to be fair, too, though, you're fishing for smallmouth, and smallmouth can be deceptive because
they are deceptive.
16-inch smallie can have a lot of different weights depending on what time of year it is.
I caught a 16-inch smallie last year. That was a 16-inch smallie. That was just shy of 6 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, smallies got weird weights to them.
Like, it just looked like you pumped them up with air.
Yep.
They're just little butterflies.
Literally. Yep. I love them. I hear a motorcycle out there.
Because I've caught 19-inch smallmouth that didn't even weigh as much as that one is.
Yep. That's the other thing, too, is like a river smallmouth, like a true current river smallmouth is different than like a lake smallmouth.
Did I ever tell you about that smallie that got DQ'd in the scavenger hunt?
No.
For the jig? No. So I caught it like it was a 22 inch and a quarter smallie. It was about 7.5 pounds or so. And I submitted it. I was like, yes, this is going to take big bass in that category.
Right.
When I took the picture, the sun glare was glaring on my identifier number. So when I submitted it, you couldn't see the identifier, and Sean had to DQ it.
Sean used to get pissed at me because I would call myself out and be like, dude, just DQ that fish. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, I haven't even got to it yet, but when you see my next fish, just DQ it. Because there was a bunch of times where, like, my mouth was open, or I submitted the wrong fish, or one time I put a freaking, like, pickerel in the pike category because I just freaking submitted it.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Like,
you're an idiot.
I took 4 pictures of that fish, and all 4 of them came out where you couldn't see the identifier because of the glare on the sun. So I was like, I'm not laminating my identifier anymore.
Nope. That's actually why I got the tin tag, for that part of that reason, because it has a white background on the tin tag.
Yeah. Well,
tag.
It was one of my first goes with that.
Yep.
So
there's a blue fox. I could send you a link, Janelle, but basically it's a painted, like, tin metal identifier thing. It has boxes, and you can get them for, like, a lot of different companies have their, like, logos and stuff on it. You can actually get it customized with your name and stuff on it. What's cool about it, I don't really know the concept of it, but the way they built the cover, the paint on it, you could write it on with a Sharpie, and then you can literally take that thing and dip it in the water, and it won't ever come off. The only way to get that back off of there is literally use, like, rubbing alcohol, or, like, I use Nikki's nail polish remover.
Nice.
That's the only way you can get that, like, that writing back off of it. So it's really nice for Because there's sometimes, like with the laminated ones, if it's raining and you're doing a tournament, you better have a Sharpie with you because sometimes it'll just start to run that freaking tag right off the laminate.
Yeah. I just started right on my hand.
Yep.
I have it. I will literally. You know what sucks? Working in a professional environment and having a smart ass tournament director that makes like the tournament code boobs. So then I got boobs written across my fucking forearm. My hand.
Jackass. I use an acrylic marker, like a paint marker, and I write it on my hand, and then I write it on my identifier. So I have two different.
That's a good idea with the acrylic because acrylic holds up better.
Yeah, it does.
The Sharpies, once they get wet, they're done.
They
won't ever write again.
The acrylic paint handles sunblock, sweat, water. Like I've had good luck with it, so I like it.
Yeah.
During tournaments, I actually have like index cards in like a little waterproof box
and
under
clear
my seat,
packing tape.
And I literally I make a couple of other tags out just in case. I actually haven't had to use them, and what I used to do with the old town, because of the way you had to measure a fish, I would literally have like the tape, like a Janela stand. I would tape it right to the pedal, so you could spin the pedal right up above the measuring board.
That's not bad either. God, we're geniuses.
It's pretty slick because if you do that, the pedal holds it, and then you don't have to like line up the picture right because the pedal's got the thing right at the right angle, and you can kind of tilt it. So if you get that glare issue that Chris had, you can kind of change it.
You put a lot of thought into that.
when that fish being denied means you don't win the tournament and you lose money on it, you put a lot of. I am paranoid as hell when I go to a tournament. When they say the identifier, I ask like 4 or 5. Are you sure that's the identifier? Okay, that's because a lot of the ones I do, they don't give it to you. Like it's not online. They don't send it to you. They tell you at the ramp.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So you're not gonna go check it on your phone. It's.
Are you doing a trail this year, Mike?
I am actually running the Slay Nation small vessel here. I took it over from Pete, actually, who's in the chat.
Yeah.
He basically took it on because the guy who originally started it, I was the one that originally started it, and then I didn't do it because I got busy, and then another guy tried to take it on, and he couldn't do it. So then Pete took it over just to make sure it happened.
Right.
So he did all the work of really setting everything up. And then he just didn't want to run it next year. So he asked me at the last tournament, hey, would you want to take it over? And I was like, yeah. Matter of fact, I mailed the permit stuff out Monday.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot being the one running thing. I know that I don't want to do it. That's why at work, and they're like, do you want like a manager position? No, I don't. I like where I'm at. It's a lot of things that you really need to be on top of, and it takes a certain type of person who can do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I just want to show up.
The person in the chat is my wife.
It's very true.
I actually have to check myself because when I'm hanging out with the wife, I'll be like, yeah, so for this video series I'm going to be making, I'm going to be doing this. And then she's like, oh, yeah? And then I'll be like, yeah. And, I think I'm going to move that rod holder back 6 inches because it's interfering with my spinning rod. She's like, oh, yeah? And then I start to realize, like, she doesn't give a fuck about half of what I just said. It's just my brain is constantly in the fishing world.
Yeah.
Yep. I do that to myself. Literally do it to myself. I'm like, all right, Janelle, whatever. Either go do it or do something else.
Go
ahead.
I'm literally leaving here in 20 minutes to drive to Walmart so I can buy a case for my phone so I can fish in the morning.
Yeah. I got
in the morning
about 9 rods I got to get rigged up yet.
Yeah, we're about 10 minutes away from ending this one, guys. I know it was kind of a quick one, but Chris has got a big drive ahead of him. How far is that drive from you?
Oh, it's not bad. It's like 4.5 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh yeah, my drive home is much worse. It's an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just wondering because I can base, I'm trying to think. For me to you is probably about the same. Then.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. No, it's very doable.
It's like. I might even be less than that because it's like a 3-hour drive from here to Albany, and from Albany to his place is like maybe an hour, 10 minutes. It's not far. Once you get on the Mass Pike, I mean, you're there in like 40 minutes. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah. My plan is and me and Chris have been talking about it, but at some point I'm going up there I'm going to try to go up there for like 4 or 5 days. Like that's kind of the plan, is to come up and be there, because I know enough about fishing. I mean, the St. Lawrence is big water. There's going to be a couple days Mother Nature says, no, you ain't fucking fishing here. It's just how it works. It's just,
oh, yes, we are.
yeah, we'll do it. But
yeah, right. Watch me. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
oh, I'll fish this time of year. I didn't fish this last 2 weekends. There was rainstorms. I'm committing from here on out. I'm just gonna say fuck it. But the fact is, there is certain conditions that I won't fish specific bodies of water. Like I won't go on. I'm not going on Champlain if there's like 30-mile-an-hour north wind.
No.
I'm not doing it.
Well, obviously.
And anybody who's fished Champlain understands why, because a north wind on Champlain is a death sentence.
10 mile an hour north wind with Champlain.
I've been on Lake Ontario and 10-foot rollers and been more comfortable than I've been in 2-foot waves on Champlain.
Well, when you get that chop and they come one after another, there's difference if there's a little bit of space in between them.
Yeah, there's no space. Champlain is washing machine. You're hurt. You're actually like physically exhausted, even if you're in a boat, because you're just getting beat up the whole time you're on the water.
Oh my! I remember my dad for years being like, "I just don't want to do it. You're trolling motor." And I'm like, "Dad, we gotta go, because we go once a year for a week." I'm like, "We gotta go out," and he's like, "Let me run the trolling motor. You sit in the back." I don't know.
That's the other thing. Running a trolling motor,
Ooh.
especially like one of the freaking, like if you have an aluminum boat where it's like getting thrown, it's terrifying being on the front of that boat. It's you're one good wave away from ending up swimming, because like,
I'm shocked that I've never won over.
I've seen it. I see it every year. Somebody goes.
I can imagine.
Surprised.
Up by you too. You get a lot. I mean, because St. Lawrence is bucket list fishery, so you get a lot of people of varying skill sets up there. So.
Well, you get a lot of people that nowadays that their eyes are fixated on their live scope, and they're not paying attention to what's coming rolling down the river, and you see them lose their balance and go. But the best one I've seen a couple times too is where their spot lock. They have like a high thrust trolling motor, and they'll be doing something, and their spot lock kicks in to shift them, and they go off the side.
Yeah, I could see that, because I've been in boats where spot lock, where like some of them are real good about like gently doing it, and some of them are just like boom, like it just like
yeah.
The ones that have the like, I forget what it is, but like the ones that actually orient, like when you set it on a compass heading, it keeps you on that compass heading. When it starts to drift, it'll like shoot back to that spot.
Yeah. That's how I drive a trolling motor. A little hard with it. I'm impatient. It's like, and then I get back. My bass
boat's got one of those old cable steer style ones.
Oh Lord!
It's not electric, so like you can't like like it's like if you leaned and when you hit a wave and your foot's on the pedal, you're turning that motor every time you go up and down, because you can't lock that motor in any particular direction.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to sign off. My battery's getting ready to... I'm at 5% here.
Nope, you're good. I actually had told Janelle I got to...
Yeah, we're at that point.
With my phone being broken, I'm actually running to Walmart to get one of those waterproof phone pouch things, because I don't have a case for my phone.
Yeah.
So I want at least something until the case comes from Amazon. So I'm just going to get one of those pouches with
air
pockets around the outside to keep it at least... I can keep it on the lanyard and not smash it. I have them, but they all got cloudy. They all got like, over time, like the lens on them gets all like weird.
Gross.
Because I don't buy expensive ones. I buy like the Ozark Trail like $4 one at Walmart. I don't buy the good one. But yeah, Chris, you have a good trip. Send me some pictures of the fish you catch, and I'll post them up.
I might not send any. Who knows?
Oh, you'll catch them. The two guys you're going with.
What's that?
Nelson's got 89 inches in the tournament I'm in with him.
Yeah, he got a picture. He caught a pretty good one the other day. That had to have been close to 6, if not over.
Yeah. I jumped into a tournament, and I was like, I'll just jump into this one and just get some fish entered. It was one of the Strike King ones. And I look at the fucking leaderboard and it's Nelson. And I'm like, asshole. I text him like, this is bullshit. I'm like, I don't even have open water yet. You've already got 89 inches on the board? What the hell, dude?
Yeah. Dude's a good angler. You know, there's a lot of good anglers there in that. So, but
you have to be. I hate those waters, honestly.
Yeah.
They're tricky. It's not. You can't just go find a grass mat there. It doesn't work like that in Massachusetts.
No.
It's a lot of rock bottom.
Yeah, that's okay. I like rock bottom. I'd say you give me a straight rock bottom, I'm rigging some kind of Tokyo rig and just ricocheting off of shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. If you want to go ahead and bail out, I'll probably kick you out, and then you go rig, and I will hit you up with. If you guys haven't checked him out, Abay Lure Lab. Is the website still up? I haven't actually checked it in a while.
No, not yet.
The website. When the website comes back up, I'll post it, guys. You'll start seeing some stuff.
We're getting there. We're getting stuff ready.
Getting caught up. Some of the coolest paint jobs you guys will see. Trust me, I've got a lot of baits. Matter of fact, my first jerkbait fish was caught on one of his paint jobs.
I appreciate it. But you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
You too.
Yes, sir. See you, Chris. Good luck.
Bye. Bye.
Yep. Now what?
I kicked him because I knew he wasn't going to be able to get out. He's not the most tech savvy guy in the world.
Neither are we.
I mean, I work for a.
Now I look green with this light. I really look green.
I kind of like it, honestly.
Oh, and now it's
mood lighting.
The can.
She's angry. She's angry.
I don't know.
So you were saying you weren't going fishing this weekend, or are you?
It's gonna freaking rain till Monday.
So
Friday through Monday, it's gonna pour.
I'm gonna tell you a very, very, very big secret. Are you ready? Your skin's waterproof. Did you know that?
Oh, wow!
Just saying.
Nick, you married him for his brains, didn't you?
You know you're waterproof.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of prepping, like in the bus, getting it ready because adventures are starting. So I've been doing a little things here and there. So if it's like it's raining and it's not worth it in my mind, getting this guy ready. What?
I said this in one of my videos, and she likes to remind me, the fish are already wet. They don't care. So when you said you've been doing Walmart, you said you're at Walmart. Are you like filming like when you're camping for this traveling or no?
I didn't do it this time, but I'm going to start a little bit. Yeah.
I will say this time of year is weird.
It is.
Once you get in the routine of it, it's no big deal to film. I will tell you, my first two videos that you guys see, you'll probably think they're good, but I'm like very critical of like I don't think they're that great because I fucked up a lot.
Yeah.
And like I don't have as much stuff in the video as I would want, and like I'm trying to do more, trying to provide better content for you guys and like tell more of a story and not just have like fish catch. Okay, guys, bye.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get back in the routine of like stupid things like one of my videos, and you guys will, now that I'm saying it, it'll make you think about it more. So I put a water bottle in a specific spot, and when I was casting, I was worried I was gonna hit it. So I moved it. And in the video, there's a fucking water bottle right fucking here next to the camera.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was visible within the camera fisheye because I always forget about how like wide of a video
this yeah.
So then like the whole video is just this fucking pink water bottle just sitting there in the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. So like stuff like that bothers me. No one else will probably care. But like and my back camera I had the stabilization on because I was using that one on the tripod when I was fishing with you, and I had turned on the like hardcore stabilization mode. So when I was running with the tripod, it wasn't like doing that. But when it's on stabilization mode, it's zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
So my back cam is like here instead of like back here. So it looks more like you're basically seeing like just my shoulder in some of the shots. You can't actually see me because of the way it was zoomed in.
Right. I was looking at my footage and I was like, I thought I'd like from like ice fishing and stuff. I was like, I thought I had most of these like done, and I'm like, they're not really done.
No.
So, but it's like the monotony. Like, the weather's getting nicer, so I want to be physically doing things, building things, tinkering with things, going fishing, whatever. I don't want to be behind the computer screen. It just puts me in like a really bad funk. And that's like the biggest battle with any creator, because it's like if you're editing your own shit, sometimes it's a battle. And right now I don't feel like arguing with my brain. So I just kind of go with the flow.
Did I tell you the decision? I didn't tell you this. So you know that Breaking Bomo series I made?
Yeah.
I'm bumping it till later in the year.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop.
So for those of you who haven't heard or seen or have no idea about this, there's a whole entire group of people
Worry about it.
Heard way too much about it because they're already sick of hearing about it. I made a series. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I started in the late part of the year and I ran out of time. So I actually ran out of fishing and I couldn't finish the series. So I had debating on just releasing it and then having a gap and then having other videos later. But what I've decided is that I'm going to really put in an effort to finish it. And then I'm going to release it as a weekly episodic type of thing.
Episodic.
But yeah, fancy words.
Big word.
Big words.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
So I'm going to like bump it to later in the year so that I can make it truly good. And there's going to be another adventure in May at some point. We're probably not going to be able to do an April adventure because both of us are kind of financially.
I was going to ask, but yeah, I
don't think it's going to happen because I have a lot of. I just had to drop $1,000 on the truck, and then I had to drop another $300 to pay my phone off so I could go get it replaced because I was still making payments on it. But
I get it. But I had to transfer money. Like literally, my card got declined. I bought steak and avocados last night and chocolate chip cookies. My card got declined. I had to go on the app and transfer money from my savings to my checking. I'm like, how the fuck do I not have $20 in my bank account? So, yeah, it's great. It's a really good time.
At some point in May, we'll be filming some content. We haven't
I'll be
really
up there.
Committed to the dates, but
because I don't know when the fishies are going to do what they want to do.
I'm hoping that they'll be doing a lot tomorrow morning because I will be fishing tomorrow morning.
I'm hoping if the weather isn't terrible, I'll when they go to the snakehead spot because I have not gotten there yet and it's driving me a little bit crazy.
You going tomorrow?
But I have off tomorrow. I have off till Monday, so we'll see.
Okay. You know what's funny? So the lake I'm going to is the same lake that we had the like 2.5 hour conversation while fishing.
Oh God.
If you guys could have been party to that conversation, we literally spent like 2+ hours just fishing and talking the entire time.
We did.
And we didn't talk about anything at all. It was just random ass ADHD conversation. But that was probably actually where really like a lot of the bond, like the bond started because we were just fucking rambling about random shit.
It was a good time.
Bobby actually asked me to go fishing with him tomorrow too, but
you mother trucker, what Bobby? I'm closer.
Not really.
Whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. If you drove up there, he'd take you in the beef boat. I know he calls it the implication, but I like calling it the beef boat because I think it's funny.
The beef boat. Beef seat. The beef queef. The beef. Whatever. I'm tired. I don't really have much more logic.
Much logic. That's the quote of the day. Much logic.
Oh.
So we will be back next week. Are you coming back next week, or are you sticking to your every other week?
Are you sticking? I'll let you know. I like the every other, especially because if the weather's right or family stuff. There's just so much stuff going on still that I just wish that it wasn't, but we'll see. Oh, wait, no. Next week is... Sorry, what's the date? I'm retarded. Not really, but probably.
10th.
I'm leaving on the 11th for a trip, so I probably won't be back next week. So you'll have to hear from me afterwards, and you'll get to hear all about how much
knit in your sewing circle, or
I'm going fossil sifting.
See, it's always something fucking random. Like, see what I mean? Like you guys probably thought I was being a dick, but it's always like, oh, I'm going on a scrapbooking trip, or I'm going to, quilt sweaters for the homeless, or some fucking weird, like, it's never.
First of all, that's a really great cause. Second of all, we have a crochet crew in my family, which I don't know how to do. I embroider every once in a while. It's really just a get together of ladies in my family. We eat dessert and they crochet, and then I go home. That's what it is.
You're going fossil? Where are you doing that?
Fossil sifting. Apparently, up in North Jersey, there's like this big brook preserve or something, and it's known for like fossil sifting. So my cousin and I are doing an overnighter in the Blue Brick, and yeah.
Tell me you're filming that at least.
I'm fucking filming that.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
I have to actually make the sifters and all that, so I've got some projects to film this week.
Now, because you're going in Jersey, is the fossils just like dead fucking Italians that pissed off the mob, or
You're funny. No, like dinosaur fossils and teeth, like shark teeth and all that. So, you jerk. Wasn't the first dinosaur fossils found in Haddonfield, New Jersey? Haddon Heights. It's literally right. It's 2 towns over from me.
There's places in Vermont where they claim they found like whale fossils and stuff. Like there's actually like whale, like they built like statues to it to show where they were found. But there's a lot of that kind of weird stuff in this northeast area. But
yeah, we're weird.
Brody's open water fishing tomorrow.
Ooh, Brody, I'm sick of seeing your shit on Instagram. I'm just kidding. I love it. I love it.
Honestly, Brody is the example. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah,
I'm so happy to see a kid that loves fishing the way Brody loves fishing. Like, having had a conversation with Brody on the live stream and stuff, it was fun to just like see the knowledge, but like just the passion for it. Like, the kid's on the bank if he can't go on the water. He's just out there fishing at all times. So
I love it. It's his outlet. Keep it up, Brody. Mike, you have to go.
I do have to go, guys.
Freaking go.
I do have to end this. I have to drive to Rutland. For those of you in the area, you might know
Rutland, Vermont. I love Rutland.
I'm probably gonna need to get strapped because it's after dark and the crackheads come out after dark down there. So
getting strapped is a good time.
Rutland is.
You're gonna take that
not gonna get demonetized, but I'm probably gonna clip that for a different platform. Probably gonna put that one on the Chinese platform, but yeah. So we're gonna end the video on that one, and we will be back next week, guys. Hopefully, I'll have lots of stories about all the fish I caught this weekend because I'm finally gonna get on the water for 3 days in a row.
Totally.
And maybe Janelle will have some stories about the fish that she caught and the bones that she dug up. So
fossils, teeth. If I get a tooth, like a good little oh, I'm so excited.
If she gets a tooth, that's how we're gonna end it. If she gets,
I'm gonna find a tooth.
She's
all right. See you on OnlyFans, guys.
All right, guys. We will see you.